A message from McAfee. Wondering why the post office is texting you or why you owe thousands of dollars in toll fees? Because someone's trying to scam you. The good news? McAfee can help. With McAfee's award-winning scam detection, it's easy to tell what's real and what's fake over text, in your inbox, and online. If they're
You want a free gift?
Seriously? If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
The holidays are all about family, but at the Chrysler Wrap Up the Year sales event, it's all about you. Enjoy every mile in the most awarded minivan in America, the Chrysler Pacifica, with the most standard safety features in its class, available stow and go seating, and the available stow and back built-in vacuum. Make the most of the holidays with a great deal at the Chrysler Pacifica Wrap Up the Year sales event. Based on Ward Small Van segment, based upon the latest available competitor information, Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
The Oregon Ducks passing game comes to life just in time for USC. We'll talk about all that and more here on the Ducks Confidential podcast. I am Aaron Fentress of the Oregonian and OregonLive. I'm joined by George Wrighster, former Oregon tight end, NFL tight end, host of the Unafraid Show, and a regular contributor to the CW. What is up, my man, George?
What up, man? You forgot to put in Heisman voter in there, too. Heisman.
Oh, that's right. He's a newly minted Heisman voter, which means we both can talk about our Heisman votes later on, and he can tell me how I'm unqualified to have one because he played tight end, and tight ends are the smartest player on the field.
You said it.
I know, I said it. I see. If I say it first, then you can't say it later. That's the rabbit strategy, right? From 8 Mile. Isn't that what he did?
Yeah.
At the last rap battle. All right. Before we continue, today's episode of the Ducks Confidential podcast is brought to you by Travel Lane County, an organization that promotes travel and tourism in the Eugene, Cascades, and Coast region. Ducks fans can find out more at www.eugenecascadescoast.org. All right, George. We're going to talk about Minnesota game because I think there's a lot there that's going to apply to this week, but we're also going to get into USC a little bit, but save most of it for later in the week. Let's start with these 3 words. What do you got? These 3 words.
Okay, tight ends.
Oh, yeah, I thought you might love that.
Okay, tight ends.
They were throwing some 3 tight end sets out there, and you were probably going, ooh, this is my kind of football. This is like back in the day.
Well, it's actually become significantly more popular with the Rams. They are a team that is zagging while everybody else is zigging. Now, if you don't know, so that's 13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, one running back, 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver.
There you go.
So the number correlates to the running back and then the number of tight ends. And then you know how many wide receivers there are because the number always adds up to 5 because you got 5 offensive linemen, you got a quarterback, 6 plus 5 equals 11.
Yeah, and let me just say, it's a big pet peeve I've always had, the whole personnel thing, the 12, 11, the 4. Like, it's like, just say what it is. 2 backs, 1 tight. I don't know. Anyway. Continue. It's just nerdish to me, for the sake of being nerdish, because then I gotta do math.
No, I mean,
subtract the backs and the tight ends from 5, and I get how many receivers.
All things understood are simple. So
no, I understand it. It's just always thought it was kind of nerdish. But anyway, continue. You were excited because you saw. You probably won 14 personnel.
Hey, listen. Here's the absolute truth. If you talk to a defensive coordinator, the most difficult thing for them to stop and slow down, or even figure out how to even begin game planning, is 12 personnel. And they wouldn't tell you 13 personnel because most people don't have 3 tight ends who can run and spread out and all of that. And the reason why it's so difficult is because if you go 12 personnel and you got Kenyon Sadiq and Jamari Johnson out there who are both very good blockers, what personnel group do you bring out? If you're a 4-3 team, 4 defensive linemen, 3 Oh, does that bother you too when you say 4-3? Because now you got to do math. How many people are in the secondary?
No, I accepted that long before I accepted the personnel stuff. So no, it doesn't. Again, I admit it's a personal pet peeve. Continue.
Yeah. So do you bring out a 4-3? So do you bring out three linebackers? And then they can, so now they got 2 wide receivers out there, 2 tight ends. They can line up in any sort of, so are they going to run the ball or pass the ball? You don't know because they may spread them out wide. And now you got a bad personnel grouping out there. Mm-hmm. Or do you bring out nickel and now they line up tight, or they just run the football and now you're at a disadvantage.
You run right out the nickel back. You run right out the nickel back. You sit a tight end and just kick that guy out and you're gone.
That's what I'm saying. And
exactly.
Now with 13 personnel, when Saliapaga can line up out wide and run, Sadiq and Jamari can line up out wide and run. So do you bring in 4 linebackers? No, if you do, you're going to have what happened to Minnesota on that Kenyon Sadiq touchdown. He's lined up against a big stiff neck and runs a route on him and catches a touchdown. But if you put small guys out there, they're going to check, roll grade them, run them over. So it makes it very difficult. And I think that you're going to see even more of that against USC too.
Yeah. Yes, a great tight end is fun to have. There's no doubt about that for all the reasons you just mentioned, especially if you get a good receiving tight end that regular backers can't cover. Then it's just trouble. And oh my God, heaven forbid you establish the run and then play action fade.
Oh God,
those are layups. Those Y2 banana.
Dude, those linebackers get to, if Oregon gets running early like they did against Minnesota, then all of a sudden, play action, people are just wide open because the linebackers are running up to the line of scrimmage and they're trying to retreat after that.
Or a wide hot with a wide pretends he's blocking, play action wide hot, and then boom up the middle because the backer came in. That was you, right? You were money on that, I bet.
Oh, money. All
right, my 3 words.
Sneak out the back, the back door. That was my favorite. Why sneak?
Ooh, yeah, why sneak? My 3 words: sling the pill. Hey, look, I know you disagreed with me last week when I said they got to get the passing game going again before they get into this stretch with USC and UW. I stick with that. Not that they, couldn't turn it on when they needed to. I mean, I guess it's possible, but it's better to have that rhythm going. Dante Moore admitted that. McClellan said the same thing. They went out, dude. My man Dante Moore was 27 of 30. That's 90%. That broke the official record for minimum 20 attempts held by Mariota, which was 88%, which he did against USC in 2012 when he went 20 for 23. But they also have listed as a record too in the record books, Kellen Clemens, when he went 15 for 17 in 2005 against Stanford. So now Dante Moore is in the record books. He got a lot of help. I mean, there's a lot of great catches, which we're going to talk to later about McClellan's ridiculous touchdown. But the weather was nice. It was supposed to be, we thought it was going to rain and be cold. And it wasn't warm, but it was nice. Like, it was really kind of chill.
Oh, so you didn't cry up in the booth?
Listen,
it's so cold.
Listen, I was prepared. I had my Chicago Bears hoodie. I had a knit cap. I didn't even dress up like I usually do with a sport coat. I didn't even wear my Jordans after the game. Dante Moore was like, "Where's the Jordans?" I go, "Man, it was supposed to rain." He's like, "Come on, man, it didn't rain though." I go, "I know," but I don't think he understands I drive 2 hours from Portland, so I have to plan ahead. Anyway, the point is, beautiful night, and they came out slinging. Dante looked great. Sadiq looked amazing. McClellan came in and did the job with Gary Bryant and Decorian Moore out. Backs made some plays out of the backfield, like you said. Johnson had a good game, too. So that was good to see. The Ducks slinging the pill again because they're going to need that moving forward.
Yes.
All right, good and terrible. What you got? Okay.
I would go with the good. The good was...
You're supposed to pick both.
Huh?
I know. Pick both, good and terrible.
I know. The good was, my God, the offense was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. I mean, literally on every single level, passing the ball, running the ball, and even the trick play was going to work if Harkey doesn't stick his big mitten in the way which was which ended up a turnover. But if that doesn't happen, Dier Hill is probably off to the races. They found a way to get the kid the ball in space on like a little trick play on a little hook and ladder, and it was going to work. Harky, move your paw out of the way. The terrible.
It wasn't much terrible.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I guess I can say, oh my God, they allowed him to run the ball on a couple of plays. I mean, what am I supposed to complain about? Am I supposed to complain about? Okay, here's what I'll complain about. I'll complain about 2 bad pass interference calls. That's what I'll complain about.
Okay, all right. Well, you know me, I'm the master of nitpicking something, so I got a terrible
fine. Tell me what you're nitpicking here.
But first, I'm gonna start with the good. So, real quick, we're changing hidden gems to hidden or not so hidden because sometimes we struggle with finding hidden gems, but we can do either one. So I'm gonna save something for later. But I thought the Davison touchdown, the long one, a 39-yarder, was pretty spectacular. The way he hit that hole when he first made the jab step outside, I thought he should have gone outside because I'm thinking he's going to need the width to maybe get away from the safety. But he boom and then hit straight up and then accelerated. Like a person 238 should not be able to accelerate. And had DBs.
I can tell you he's not 238 anymore.
He's not. Is he trimmed down now?
Yes.
What's he down to?
Yes.
What's he down to? 225 now?
I would guess probably about 225.
Regardless.
He was a little dooley when he first came in. Yeah, he had the baby fat on him, and we talked about that. And he looks trim in his uniform now. So he's for sure. I would say for sure not 238 anymore. But in this game, he actually looked. This was the first time where he looked like it was like the light fully came on in the Iowa game, and then in this game where he's no longer a freshman now. And remember, we talked about that in the beginning of the season, and he's no longer a freshman now. He is there are no more, oh, that's a freshman mistake. This is what we expect out of a freshman. No, he has graduated to oh, I feel comfortable here. He looks like he's arrived now in who he is in terms of the freshman version of who he is. Right.
Yeah, so that was pretty spectacular. There were several people in the press box who were like, "Oh my God!" And you see Big Ten DBs are just trying to catch him, and it's like, you're not gonna catch him. So that was pretty impressive. So my nitpick was just that they allowed Minnesota to come out in the third quarter and march, 75 yards or whatever it was to make it 28-13. Was the game in doubt? No. But come out and just stop them, get the ball, score, go up 35-6 or whatever it would have been, 35.
Minnesota's 7. Not a bad football team. I know,
but their offense is horrible though. Yeah. So I give the offense for Oregon credit for what they did against a pretty solid defense. We talked about that last week. They've been hindered by the offense being so bad, like in that Iowa game. But again, I admit nitpick to the extreme. But I remember looking up at 28-13. I'm like, this game isn't really that close, but it is because of that drive. All right, that's my nitpick.
Oh, I do want to give one more good, and that is Noah Whittington. He's running like the rent is due the last couple weeks, man. Like the last 2 weeks, it's almost like he was okay in the beginning of the season. Okay, cool. And then you see these young kids coming along. And remember, he was banged up. And now he's either fully healthy or he's like, you ain't getting my reps. You can't have my cornbread. You cannot have my corn. I need my cornbread too. You are not taking food off of my plate. You're not taking no more carries off me. You've gotten what you're going to get. And that's it. For those who don't know, the cornbread references to Eddie Murphy from the movie Life with Martin Lawrence, where he tells the big guy in prison, get your own cornbread. You come over here, there's going to be consequences and repercussions. It's going to be consequences and repercussions. But no, Whittington was amazing. I did a feature on Whittington, which people can go search OregonLive, Fentress, and Whittington. I did a long feature on him. And he talked about coming in
with Mackay, how he was a little like perturbed that they brought in Mackay, but it's competition. That's just big. That's his life in Big Ten football, right? It's just how it is. So he understood it. He competed. He beat him out. But then I said to him, but did you feel that at worst it was going to be a 1A, 1B situation like it was with Jordan James and Bucky before? And he said, nah, man, because those freshmen are for real. He goes, those freshmen, he said, they came in day one. It was like, oh yeah, they can take my reps. I better come in and work hard. So that falls in line with what you're saying. But yeah, he's been playing some great football. And that touchdown run, save for the fact that he got a little bit careless at the end and, dropped his arm and bumped the ball out and then almost lost it. He carried like 18 people. That was like straight out of, Fat Albert, like carrying the entire game, the Fat Albert game for a touchdown. That was an impressive play by Noah. All right, grades. I'm going A offense, B plus defense, only because I'm nitpicking because of that one touchdown drive. A special teams. What do you got?
I got an A plus for the offense. I mean, like outside of the trick play not working because you messed it up, like because there was a saboteur in the way. Like aside from that, there's nothing to complain about. So an A plus.
A saboteur.
Now, I will give you the B plus only because of that one drive out of halftime. That's it. Like if they had done that in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. You would, when it was 42-6, you'd be like, okay, whatever. Or if they had done it early in the first half, but I even still feel like it's a nitpicky thing, but B plus, B plus. And special teams. Oh, so I accidentally found Ferguson on the punter on Twitter or TikTok or one of them. And he's making fun. He's like that face you make when it's the fourth quarter and the offense hasn't punted yet. He's like, so yeah, great job, James.
I know. Is that the only position in sports where your job is to wait for failure? Only in football, at least. Like your job literally.
Kicker kind of too.
But the kicker at least
failed on your drive.
But you got in position to get points, so there's some success there. The punter comes on when the offense didn't get anywhere near an ability to within range of a field goal, and it's basically just trying to play field position. So it's like, okay. We failed. Punter, come out and do your job. So the only way you get to play is if the offense struggles, or get to play a lot, I should say. And in his case, he's joked about this before. How I think he said one time how he joked about it. He was like, "Oh, if they fail," I'm like, "Yes." Oh, but
think about this. Let's put this in perspective. Oregon has a minimum of 3 games left, right?
Correct. A maximum of 7.
Yeah.
No, 6. 7. No, 7 actually.
Yeah. He has punted 23 times this year
in 10 games.
Yes. Last year when he was at Boise State, and remember, Boise State's offense last year was highly efficient. They ended up in the college football playoff. That means you're scoring a lot of points and you're not punting a lot, right?
Right.
So he didn't punt a lot last year. Last year was the fewest punts that he ever had. He had 63 his freshman year, 55 his second year, and then 43 last year. Wow. 43 punts in 14 football games last year because, the team played 14. I don't know how many, if he missed any time or anything.
Right.
But 14 football games that the team played because they played the 12 regular season. They played in the conference championship game versus UNLV, and then they played their one playoff game.
Right. I mean, that's good for the offense. That's such his life. All right. So we've changed. And
he's allowed 0 punt return yards this season, I believe, as well.
Is it 0?
Yes. I think the answer is 0.
All right. So our hidden or not so hidden gem, mine is not so hidden, but I thought the McClellan touchdown catch was extremely impressive. It's hard to explain how you have to play a lot of football. Like when I was a kid, we'd go out and we'd pretend we were Lynn Swann, John Stallworth making the tippy toe catches in the corner. Like we pretend like the end of the grass. Yeah, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth. This is back in the 70s. Exactly.
That's who you were.
Did you just give me a Kevin Hart damn? Like you did Don Cheadle? Anyway, so we'd practice this all the time. Like we'd throw it and we'd pretend like we were in the corner, like just where the grass ended from the cement or wherever. And we'd do it. So when I got to high school, like I made catches like that and it was like effortless. Well, I've been doing it since I was like 7, right?
Yeah.
So that's really difficult. But what he did was completely different because it was a back shoulder fade. He turns, he makes to get to the width he needs to make the catch. His right foot, foot crosses over his left. But if he comes back with his left foot, he's going to go out of bounds. So he dead legged it to drag the left foot as he's falling down to make the catch. That is like some gymnastics type flexibility. Like,
yeah, that was impressive.
It was insane. Now they reviewed it, and I think Robert Griffin was insisting that maybe he was out. It was super close, but I think he was in by like maybe an inch because the tip of the toe touched it, almost like Santonio Holmes' touchdown in the Super Bowl against Arizona, a game I covered, where he just got the tippy toe.
In the Super Bowl, that was Cardinals. That was Cardinals
Steelers. I covered that game. It was an amazing play. Anyway, that was just phenomenal by McClellan. Like that, like you don't see that type of toe drag with the dead leg. It's just exquisite. Oops, I just knocked you down. Damn. Anyway, that's my not so hidden gem as I drop yet another George Wrighster sports card. They just won't stick, bro. Go ahead, continue. Need some super glue.
Now, I want to give Minnesota's quarterback some credit.
He showed some moxie, didn't he? He hung in there.
What did I tell you about the kid?
I know you told me he's a great first freshman. He's got potential. I know you the man.
Hey, and he's also the kind of kid that's not gonna be
looking to bail.
Yes, as well.
You think so?
Yeah, as well.
Okay. All right.
Well, he might be willing to bail, but I'm not 100%.
Is that your gem, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think the kid is good. I think he has elite talent and elite skills, and he is he's got a lot of potential. It's just going to be a matter of whether he's able to realize that potential or not.
Right. I hear you. All right. I don't know. Anything else we need to say about that game? It was a good performance. You know, no DeCorian Moore, no Gary Bryant Jr. McClellan stepped up. Tight end stepped up. Running game was devastating as usual. Lately. They only got 100. They only got 176 passing, but that was only because they were running the ball, or passing the ball for 300 plus, right? So you're not always going to get 250 when you're throwing it like that. So yeah, I thought it was just great all the way around. I got nothing else other than that third quarter drive. Time to move on to hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Gotta make the helmet swap. Dun, 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 dun. Should I go with the Black Ducks helmet or let's go with the black. I got the carbon fiber Ducks helmet on the way. I love that carbon fiber Ducks helmet. One of my favorite ones ever. All right. Let's where should I put this bad boy? Where was it? Right here.
So
right. Housekeeping.
So Oregon fans are really upset right now, right?
Why?
They're really upset about this 12:30 kickoff time.
Why?
I would like the answer to that same question. I do not understand why they're so mad about this 12:30 kick time. So, from what I have surmised via my Twitter investigation, is that they don't feel like they're like all of Oregon's losses have come at 12:30 basically.
Oh, okay. They're not a good morning team.
And then they feel some sort of. And then the other thing I gathered, but I'm like, I don't understand how that is. Like, he lost a 4:30 game once too, so it's like he's 12-4 at 12:30. So it's not like pretty much all of the losses. There haven't been many people. They basically all come at 12:30 kicks, and I'm like, that's not a big that's not. If it were like 4-12 at 12:30 kicks, I could understand. But it's 12-4. And then the other thing is, I think that they feel disrespected that you didn't get a primetime game at 4:30. But I'm like, that is CBS's primetime window. And they got to choose, which game that they wanted. And they're like, we're taking Oregon. Our highest rated games this year have come when Oregon has been on the tube. So we're going to take them. And I don't understand why anybody's upset.
Do people just not have hobbies or anything better to do but worry about such minutia? First of all, the 6 o'clock game, I didn't get home till 2:30 a.m., by the way. That was not good for me. So I'm happy for it. 12:30 games. That means I get home.
So all you care about is yourself.
Well, I'm just saying. Like I like watching games under the lights, but, you know, if you got to drive from Portland, I can't imagine the other fans from Portland prefer the night games. I know they didn't in the past. And 12:30 noon, that's college football time. That's when college football historically is supposed to be played, is right in that window. And yes, you have the 4:30 window. I get that. But what was the 12:30 games last week? Wasn't Alabama, Oklahoma?
It was USC,
Iowa, and was Alabama, Oklahoma at 12:30?
Yep. And Oklahoma, Alabama.
Yeah. So if that game can be at 12:30, so can the Ducks. Anyway, whatever. All right. Around the nation real quick. So USC won. That was huge because that makes, if the Ducks win this week, that makes that a big win for them, which is going to help them in the college football rankings. Bama lost a pretty good game to Oklahoma. Georgia rolled over Texas. Ole Miss won. A&M held on against South Carolina. I watched the last few minutes of the game. That South Carolina quarterback was scared to death. Didn't know what he was doing at all in the last drive.
I told you that.
I know. So what do you make of what happened within the top 10 in terms of how it pertains to the Ducks? Clearly, Bama dropping is what allowed Oregon to move up to 5 in the coaches poll and 6 in the AP. We could be close to a Bama at Oregon, Oregon at Bama situation coming up in the first round. But anyway, what'd you think about what happened across the country?
So, I mean, Alabama's going to have to get through Auburn, which I don't know is going to happen.
They don't handle Auburn.
Okay. I was like, I will
tougher game this week, don't they?
Hold on.
Aaron, they got a tougher game this week.
I said, or I was willing to bet my house that Oklahoma was going to beat Alabama last week. That was one of the easiest games to ever. That and the Georgia Texas, 2 easiest games to handicap this entire season. I was like, this is. I was like, Georgia's going to blow Texas out, and Oklahoma's going to beat Alabama in a close game, 100%. But now, all of this Texas A&M talk, Aaron, I can't. And remember, I told you last week, you were like, well, I think Texas A&M will handle the Oregon, blah, 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 blah. And here's the thing about Texas A&M, Aaron, because everybody keeps talking about their schedule. Aaron, when you look at the SEC schedule, this is the thing that they won't tell you. Texas A&M, who's ranked number 3, who they were caping for to be number 1 in the nation, who no chance after that South Carolina performance. But so the top of the SEC standings are Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and then Tennessee. Okay?
Okay.
Those 8 teams. How many of those teams do you think Texas A&M has played?
I just looked at their schedule. They've only played. Wait, hold on. Double check. Oh, their best win's Notre Dame.
No, Matthew. How many of those top teams do you think that they played?
Right,
those
in
top
conference, none. In conference, their best win is LSU. Right.
Yes, and so they have.
But they beat UTSA, they beat Utah State, and they got Samford this week. So don't be hating.
Yeah, Samford. Listen,
and Bama has Eastern Illinois. So you're sleeping on Eastern Illinois.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm sorry. I don't apologize because I call it like it is. This is a. Texas A&M has won the schedule roulette. This team is nowhere near as good as advertised. I believe, and I said it last week, I said Georgia and Alabama would beat Texas A&M. And Oregon would beat Texas A&M. I told you there are only 2 teams, and now I will add a third I'm like, ooh. And only the third, I'm like, I think would be a close game against Oregon, but I would still pick Oregon. The only two teams that I am like, is Ohio State and Texas Tech. That's it. I think it would be a close game against Georgia. Notre Dame would be a close game, but I like Oregon in that game too. Yeah, I'm not afraid of anybody else or even highly of course you can lose any game if you don't play well, but I would 100% expect Oregon to beat everybody except for I feel like Texas Tech and Ohio State would be toss-up games. Huh?
Expect?
Yes, I would expect them to beat every single team in the nation except for those two games I would feel like are a toss-up. Oh my God. And truthfully, Aaron, on a neutral field, Oregon will be favored against every team in the nation except for Ohio State, probably.
See, okay. So you criticize A&M's schedule, and that's fine. And you say they haven't played these teams at the top of the conference. But Oregon hasn't played teams the equivalent of those teams at the top of the SEC, other than Indiana, which beat Oregon.
I'm not standing... Aaron, I'm not standing for Texas A&M to be number one in the nation. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that they should not be highly ranked.
I'm not talking about A&M right now. I'm talking about just Oregon in general. You're saying you expect them to beat all these teams when, again, it's not their fault what happens to the teams they play. It's not their fault that Penn State fell to pieces. It's not their fault that they were given a schedule that didn't include Ohio State or Michigan, that they ended up with the next best team they played being Iowa or Northwestern. But regardless, there's nothing on Oregon's resume that screams number 3 team in the country. There's just nothing.
I don't think that they should be ranked because of the Indiana law.
But you're saying that at worst the third best team in the country because you said the only team you think that can beat them or should beat them would be Ohio State and Texas Tech. That means you're saying that they would beat everyone else. You expect them to beat everyone else in the country. That means you're saying they're the third best team.
Yes,
and that's your opinion, but there's no evidence of that. That's all I'm saying.
No. There is, Aaron, because I understand that styles make fights, and the things that this is exactly why I knew that Oklahoma was going to beat Alabama handily. I'm sorry that they were going to be able to beat Alabama is because, and then Alabama beat Georgia. Because it is a styles make fights thing. The things that Oklahoma does well, Alabama struggles at, and the things that it's about the matchups more than anything else, and that's what I'm saying that Oregon's matchups, that Oregon matches up with these other teams better than Ohio. Well, I don't think anybody matches up well with Ohio State yet, but they've also not been tested at all. And we don't know how they're going to look because this Ohio State team could actually fall into the same trap that Oregon did last year, where, yes, they had the Wisconsin game, but that was more situational, where they hadn't truly been crazy tested all year. And they kind of just walk through the majority of people. And then when you get into the college football playoffs, somebody who played the week prior, and then you get punched in the mouth early. That's what that would be my fear if I were an Ohio State fan. But my entire point, though, Aaron, was about Texas A&M in terms of people saying this is the number one team in the country and all of this stuff. And I'm like, apply the same things that you say that not you, Aaron, but other people are saying about Oregon or saying about Indiana or saying about the Texas Tech or any of these teams. Apply that same standard to Texas A&M. That's my only point.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I'm not saying they should be number one. I would argue that they have a better win than Oregon does since they beat Notre Dame. But hopefully they'll play and we can see what happens in that game.
Yeah, because I think that Georgia's the best team in the SEC right now.
Okay. So sneak peek ahead to USC coming to town. Is there a line on this game? What's the line?
10.5.
Oregon's favored by 10.5?
Yes.
I'm taking the 10.5. All right. What's your threat level and your score prediction? We'll dive deeper into this next later in the week, but what's your threat level? You had 3.5 early on Minnesota, then you went to 3. So this has to at least be a 4.
No.
Okay,
No.
we're done.
My
And
threat
that's
level
it for
is 3.
thanks for listening to the Ducks Confidential Podcast.
What?
I can no longer. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
My threat level is a 3, Aaron.
Okay.
And that's no disrespect to USC.
Oh, it is. You had
No,
Minnesota as
it's
a
not.
3. All right, go ahead.
In the beginning of the season, which games did I tell you I was most concerned about?
Indiana, Penn State.
And granted, this does not mean that USC is not a good football team, because they are a really good football team. They are much improved. But the games I told you that I was concerned about was the Indiana game. Told you I was concerned about the Iowa game, the Minnesota game, and the Washington game. Like that, those were the games that I was highly concerned about. The USC game, this is a talented football team, but this is also a styles make fights thing. And the thing that Oregon does well, run the football at a very high level and run you over. USC struggles with that. And then when you can pass the ball too, their secondary is not their strong suit, not even a little bit. But the difficult part about stopping USC is stopping their wide receivers. You got the number 1 pass defense in the country. And they should be able to limit USC running the football, which makes them one-dimensional. I see this game playing out a lot like their game versus Notre Dame, because Oregon and Notre Dame are structured more like each other than anybody that USC has played so far.
Okay, fair.
And they beat them by 10.
How do you pronounce the quarterback's name? Jaden Maiava? Maiava? Okay. So clearly one of the better quarterbacks Oregon will have faced this year. However, and I always like looking at people's stats based on their non-conference. So 18 touchdowns, 6 picks, 6 touchdowns came against Georgia Southern and who's this other team they played? Missouri State. So in the Big Ten, he's got 12 touchdowns with 6 picks, which is not very impressive. But he's had some high completion percentage games, 72, 73. I see a 78 in here, a 70, a 77. He clearly is a pretty efficient guy. He has a ridiculous receiver in, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Two, because Mekhi Lemon is insane.
Is a big dude, and he will jump ball you to death.
Yeah, Mekhi Lemon, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. He just went for 153 on 10 catches against Iowa. Had 161 on 11 catches.
Pillow, buddy.
He had 11 catches, 151, 2 touchdowns at Illinois. Woo! I'm looking forward to watching him play. The running game has really been pretty devastating lately. They had an injury early, right? Wayman Jordan.
They lost Sanders and Wayman Jordan.
And then King Miller comes in, a freshman.
Yeah, and he was a walk-on.
He was a walk-on?
Yep.
Damn, because he went for 158 at Michigan, 129 at Nebraska, 127 at Northwestern, just had 83 against
in the Iowa game is when he had that moment in the Iowa game the same way that Jordan Davison had in the Iowa / Minnesota games, where where the light just boom, and it's clear that he understands more of what he's doing, and he feels comfortable, like he's trusting his instincts,
right,
instead of painting by numbers.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm at threat level 4 because I think the offense is going to be one of the better offenses Oregon's faced by far. They actually have a passing game, which some of the teams Oregon's played just didn't really have a really legitimate passing game. But I still have the Ducks winning, definitely covering the 10 for USC. I would take USC plus a 10.5, especially with the hook. So I got right now 31-26 Ducks.
That's exactly the way I am, Aaron. I think that Oregon wins somewhere between 7 and 10 points. I think that 10 and a half may be a little excessive. that little half points have caused more losses to gamblers than anything else.
There's nothing worse than losing a half a point, bro. That stings. All right. So we agree Oregon's going to win. We agree it's going to be closer than the line. I got 31-26. Did you give a final? You didn't give a final yet. What's your final?
I'm going to go 31. No. Ooh. I got to go 31-21. No, because they're going to kick at least one field goal. I'm going to go 27-17.
Wow, only 27 for Oregon? You just said they're going to run all over them.
Actually, we'll go 30-20.
30-20. All right.
Yeah.
We're pretty close. All right, anything else?
Yeah, because I can't see them getting 3 touchdowns, but I do think they score more points than 2 touchdowns, if that makes sense. And then 17 feels too low. So I'm going to go 20 to 30. But because my original, I wanted to give Oregon 34, but I couldn't really get 34 without giving them 24. So, but something feels to me like it feels like Oregon's number is 34 in this game, but I'm going 20-30.
What? Okay. Thanks for breaking that down for us, George.
Hey, I'm picking at 66% on the season. In terms of, because I pick 5 games every single week, 66% against the spread. So I know what I'm doing.
I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing. I'm just saying that was a very convoluted way to get there. Anyway, that's all right. We forgive you. All right. Today's episode of the Ducks Confidential Podcast was brought to you by Travel Lane County, an organization that promotes travel and tourism in the Eugene, Cascades, and Coast region. Ducks fans can find out more at www.eugenecascadescoast.org. You know what? I felt a little ramped up today. I had a little bit of coffee right before the show.
Bro,
could you tell?
Yes,
could you tell?
You were high energy today.
Man, it was like this much coffee. It was like this much coffee, bro. It wasn't even that much. But I haven't drank coffee in a long time. It just went right. Like
I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Really? Ever?
Never. I've tasted it, but it tastes horrible.
Well, you just gotta. I put a lot of cream in it and sugar it up and make it taste sweet.
Why do I want to drink something that I got to turn into something else?
Because it gets you fired up.
Hey, listen, I'm high on life already, baby.
All right, thanks for listening. We'll catch you later in the week.